hear me?
Yeah.
I'm very nervous, so give me a minute to...
Turn it down for her.
I'm going to do it. So, a lot of you know me, of course, and my history with Chris goes way, way back. And the history is this, that I take care of him. And by that I mean feed him. I can't remember what year it was. Sorry, I guess I can't remember what year it was, but I know it was at least 20 or more years ago. I remember how it started, the thing with me feeding him. It was Easter. I was making brunch, as I do. And he could not come because he was, of course, working at Magic. So later on in the day, I went down with a plate of food, brunch food. And I really can remember this like it was yesterday. He opened that plate and he was going, I got ham, I got potato salad, I got bagel, like a leprechaun. And I think that was the beginning of it, of the food thing with him and I. And after that, we just shared so many meals together. So much laughter, conversation, food, obviously. Good friends, trying friend. Bob and Tina, we had so many great dinners around that table. Nellie, I don't know where you are, but you were there with us. And right here at this restaurant, I had some amazing dinners with Chris. And the last time I had dinner here was what I called my double date. It was myself, Fred McLaughlin, and Chris Hurley. It was a great night. And sometimes my husband Peter and I, but most of the time it was Troy and I, we would go to where Chris was working and sit at the bar and have lunch with him and sort of torture him a little bit and bug him and pester him and tease him. But he was always a good host, and I know he loved it. He did. That's right, fresh squeezed. And then, of course, there was my house, where Chris knew he could always drop in for a meal. I can't tell you, and those of you who were there will know what I mean by this, how many Saturday, Sunday, or Monday evenings I would get a call or a text saying, Hurley wants to know what's for dinner. So, of course, Peter and Chris would come dragging home after happy hour, and I would feed them whatever family supper I had on the table that night. And then, of course, my care packages. I almost forgot about that. He loved my care packages. I made him everything from Halloween candy, pumpkin bread, Easter baskets, chicken soup. I mean, I could go on. But his very, very, very favorite thing that I made him was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I would pack them for him when he was going up to Boston or just drop it off at the buoy for fun. He loved that. So anyway, we roll around to spring 2020, pandemic, we're all isolating. And I get a call from Chris one day. He's like, I fell down and bumped my head. And Bobby thinks I should go to the hospital. And I can't remember, Bob, but I think the ambulance was very busy that day or something, and that's why you said to ask me if I could drive him to the hospital. But anyway, of course I did. We had been isolated from one another for a while, but we just jumped in the car. I didn't hesitate. And I thought I was dropping him off there to get, I don't know, an x-ray or something. And he wound up staying in the hospital for 5 days. And that's when he, got his bad news about his multiple myeloma. And lots of other stuff, doctor's appointments, tests, just a lot of scary stuff. So I picked him up 5 days later, and I said to Pete, I go, he's coming over for dinner tonight. And it was really a no-brainer. We just kind of took him into our isolation bubble. And I'm so glad that we did. So we kind of fell into a routine. Chris would come over about 4 in the afternoon and hang out with me when I was making dinner. We would watch a lot of CNN in those days because it was the presidential campaign, and we would do a lot of political commentary on a certain candidate that we didn't like. We played games, once in a while backgammon, he crushed me. Trivial Pursuit, I crushed him. We teased my husband a lot because that was the summer he was building the Yankee clubhouse, and he never wanted to stop building it to come in for dinner or snacks or anything. And of course, we watched a lot of baseball games. We watched games every single night. Chris would hang out until the mosquitoes started biting us because we'd be outside. And I'd walk him out to the car and he'd go home and we'd start over again next time. So another thing we did was each day when Chris would come over, I would always throw something out on the table, cheese and crackers, grapes, whatever it was. And as the summer rolled along, we started to eat a lot of watermelon because it was summer. So one day I bought a yellow watermelon, which Chris had never seen and did not know about. I know this is so corny, really, but we decided to have a watermelon tasting. It's 3 people that don't drink, okay? We were really just having fun over the pandemic. So I went to the farmer's market on a Saturday morning. I bought a big hunk of orange, yellow, red watermelon, and came home. I sliced it all up on a beautiful platter. Chris came over, and I put it on the table. And I don't know why I said this. It's just something that popped into my head. I went, Chris, reflections on a gift of watermelon pickle. He rolled his eyes at me, as he could, and he's like, yeah, good, let's eat this watermelon. So anyway, it really is a poem that I read a long time ago, and it's about a childhood summer memory, but when I read it again, it kind of touched my heart. So I'm going to try to read it to you. And I didn't have the title correctly, but I'm going to read it. Whew. Reflections on a gift of watermelon pickle, received from a friend called Felicity. That's the title. During that summer, when unicorns were still possible, when the purpose of news was to be skinned, when shiny horse chestnuts, hollowed out, fitted with straws, crammed with tobacco, stolen from butts and family ashtrays, were puffed in green lizard silence while straddling thick branches far above and away from the softening effects of civilization. During that summer, which may never have been at all, but which has become more real than the one that was, watermelons ruled. Thick pink imperial slices melting frigidly on sun-parched tongues dribbling from chins, leaving the best part, the black bullet seeds, to spit out in rapid fire against the wall, against the wind, against each other. And when the ammunition was spent, there was always another bite. It was a summer of limitless bites, of hungers quickly felt and quickly forgotten with the next careless gorging. The bites are fewer now. Each one is savored lingeringly, swallowed reluctantly. In a jar put up by Felicity, the summer, which maybe never was, has been captured and preserved. And when we unscrew the lid and slice off a piece and let it linger on our tongue, unicorns become possible again. Chris, till we meet again.